So how do we design the program? Well, it's more like a curriculum. Okay, we have a baseline that we follow. And to learn means to follow a track. So we have a very particular codified system. Now that doesn't mean we have all the answers, okay? I'm not a guru, okay? I'm not saying I have all the answers and if you did this, you'll be successful. There are no recipes for success. But we should provide you a very clear path forward. If we're going to tell you what the deliverables are in getting to this zone of total confidence and having this liberated sense and more energy and more wealth, then we need to have a system for getting there. So how do we do it? What's our roadmap? That's what you're investing in, is a powerful roadmap. There are 8 particular modules or moves similar to getting your black belt. Right? In a black belt, you have to have 10 particular sets of moves, and then you master the supporting moves that basically mean that you're an expert or you're a ninja in those particular areas. So I looked at the composition of everything I did for hundreds of entrepreneurs over the last 13 years. And I noticed that there was a palette of 8 particular areas. What you're going to do is master the first area called life architecture. And this is where we start, is you become a life architect. And when you become a life architect, you learn how to align a business plan, a business vision, a core ideology, in other words, your sense of mission and purpose and your own values and guiding principles, with a business vision. So what we're going to do is integrate in a successful way the content that you really want to create in your life, your health, your business, your finance, your relationships, and more. And then all the elements in your business to serve your life. So that's going to be the premise from which we now are going to navigate forward with your business. We're going to lead it from there. In other words, when you create the things that are indispensable to your happiness, you bring more energy to all the other areas of your life. And then everybody else takes delivery of that energy. Because when you're doing the things that energize you and what really makes a difference, the world responds to you in a different way. The second thing that you're going to master is what's called the EST maximizer: energy, strengths, and time. If you look at how you're managing your priorities, if you look at how well you use the time that you have, you're either using time to get you energized, you're using time that focuses your strengths, or you're using time that, well, it's focused around your top priorities. If you want to see whether you're using your time well, just take a slice out of your calendar. You'll be able to see what your priorities really are. And I'll guarantee you that if you really take accountability of this, a lot of the things that you're doing with your time are not your spoken priorities. So our job is to align those two. Number 3, you're an enterprise craftsman. So your job is to be the architect of a great business system. In other words, get everything on autopilot friction-free. This involves delegation, systemization, manualization, documenting all of your processes into manuals so you have a well-oiled machine. Now you're probably saying to yourself, but JD, I don't have time to do all that. You will, because you'll have the accountability, you'll have the kind of structuring to take 2 steps back to go 10 steps forward. So once we finish those big 3, life architect, EST maximizer, and then the enterprise craftsman, you're going to master then being an opportunity rainmaker. And this is you being an effective marketer. Marketing is a process that composes all the behaviors, all of the actions that you and your team do in your business that basically speak a message to the marketplace. So we're going to do everything from lead generation on the front end to extending the lifetime value of the client, to increasing the transaction sizes of every transaction or invoice that you put out, to better retention and continuing to reactivate your clients. So you have a well-oiled marketing machine. We're going to look at the particular mediums that you use to market your business, make sure that those are the correct ones, and so forth. So the opportunity rainmaker. Then once we've got those 4 behind us, then we go into the magnetic communicator, because business is about communication. It's about communicating outwardly in writing and verbal effectively, and it's also about listening, more about listening than anything. So you're going to be mastering a set of skill sets, tactics, strategies, and concepts to build your magnetic communication. What about visionary leadership? Right? Your main task is to build up a team that cares about your business more than you do. How are you going to do that? You have to have a core ideology. You have to have an envisioned future. How are you going to translate that? How are you going to work that into the fabric of your business? How are you going to develop that teamwork? How are you going to develop a spirit and an initiative in your business where you get all of that horsepower under your wraps? How are you going to create that? There's a lot to that. And then you have the buying facilitator. And being a buying facilitator means you have to learn how to sell without the appearance of selling. What is your sales process? How do you convert someone from a lead to a close? Is it outfitted well? Is it aligned with how the buyer wants to buy? Is it documented? Do you have a methodology for selling? And then the final one is the money mind. How you think about money, how you organize money, how you save money, how you plan your money, what you do to create wealth, and so forth. So if you take all of these 8 in tandem, what's the aim? Where do you finally end up? Well, you have a lot more freedom, you have a lot more earning power, and you have a lot more confidence. And so we implement these in a random way, just based on your individual situation and what's most appropriate. This is our toolkit. And within each module, there are concepts, strategies, and tactics from which, well, you implement. Implementation is everything. So over about 24 to 36 months, this is what we're going to be mastering. This is the fiber, the landscape of our program.